Hello. So hopefully this is working. I haven't done one in a while, so see if it works. Yeah, so it's definitely working. So yeah, I haven't done one in a wee while, but I actually saw a wee post the other day on Instagram from a coach I follow, and it resonated with me in my brand and basically what I want to communicate with you. But because I know a lot of the women I work with, one of the biggest reasons they don't take action is because they feel like they've tried everything. They've tried Weight Watchers, they've tried Slimming World, they've tried Joe Wicks, they've tried other coaches, and no matter how many times they try something, they just never succeed, or they define that they failed. So there's a couple of layers to that, but like that in itself is actually stopping you from making progress again because one, you're telling yourself that anything you will try will end in the exact same result as before. Which one, you don't know, but two, it means that you're actually telling yourself you're going to fail before even starting. And I don't know if you know anything about mindset or anything like that, but one of the most common things is what we call self-fulfilling prophecies. If you continually tell yourself something, it is a more likely occurrence. So if you tell yourself you're already going to fail, the occurrence is likelier to happen because your subconscious behaviors will align with it, your conscious behaviors will align with it. So when you start failing, or when you start maybe having a wee slip up, you'll just tell yourself straight away, oh, I'm failing already. And then you'll deliberately give yourself permission to stop because you're like, well, I can't do this anymore because I'm failing. I always do. And you trap yourself in that hole. And it's such a hard hole to get out of. So that's one way of why this sort of talk is not positive, is not going to help you in the future, because you're going to be stuck in this position. But the other thing is as well is I want you to think about this as well. When I'm asking you to commit to doing something new, whether it's with me, whether it's with someone else, I'm not asking you to be perfect. Okay. So other programs, they might be like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And don't get me wrong, I will have certain expectations of you and I'll be realistic. And I'll be like, look, in order to achieve this result, you're going to have to do X, Y, Z. And then you can decide whether you want to do X, Y, Z to achieve that result. Or if you adjust your goal in line with what you can actually manage week to week given your busy lifestyle. Because a lot of the people I work with have kids. A lot of people I work with have busy businesses of their own or work for someone else. A lot of people don't have a lot of time to themselves and they feel very time poor and restricted. But the point is here is I'm not asking you to be perfect. So if you go and have a week and it goes smashing, amazing, brilliant. Like recently, one of my clients, so he was on a 15-day streak because he told me the whole of June he was going to not miss a day of tracking calories, hitting his steps, missing workouts or anything like that. He was going to do everything perfectly. And I said to him, like, that's a good goal to have. Let's work on it week by week. And he did 2.5 weeks worth. And then he had a concert the other day, and he didn't track his calories that day. He kept himself moving, and he missed a workout. But most people would then be like, "Oh, but I failed already because I've let myself down." And then that easy bit where it's like, "Oh, I've had one bad day on the Friday. Now it becomes Saturday, and it becomes Sunday. You start again on Monday." And what was just one evening of not doing something or one session not being done becomes 3 or 4 days of damage now. So you actually are inflicting more damage on yourself. So the angle here is what I'm not asking you to do is to not be perfect. I'm asking you to be realistic, but also commit to never giving up. And that may sound like a lot, but it's not, because when I explain it properly, so when I ask you not to give up, in this case of this person I was coaching, the essential thing here is they're not giving up. So I said to them, say in their check-in, I was just like, okay, so you actually did really, really well. So you set yourself a target of being unbroken for a month. You've had a day and a half worth of just relaxing and you chose not to track calories. That's absolutely fine. And I asked them, I was like, did you eat relatively normally? And they've said, yeah, I did. I didn't go out the window. I had a couple of beers, but I didn't go off the rails. Okay, so that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. It's not perfect behavior, but it's better than giving up, because giving up just means you guarantee no progress. But doing this meant the damage was limited. It was like I enjoyed myself. And because they enjoyed themselves, it actually makes it easy to get back on track as soon as possible. So rather than waiting until Monday, it's like, well, I just picked up as I left off the next day. Because a lot of people, for example, when you go drinking, it's very common. It's like the drinking is not actually the issue. It's the day after when you wake up and you have a fry, you have the bottle of Lucozade, and then you're like, you know what, I might as well carry on enjoying myself for the rest of the day. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But again, it's like you don't need to give yourself permission to keep doing that. Get yourself back on track at the earliest possible convenience. So yeah, so thinking about back to the whole original thing, nothing ever works for me. If you can make the commitment to not being perfect, you can make a difference and you can succeed. And I'll relate this back to something a lot of my audience will understand, because they have kids, most of them do, or they've got nieces and nephews. When you're teaching a kid, for example, a skill, it might be some homework, it might be tying their shoes, it might be doing an exercise or something at gymnastics. How do you teach them? Because I guarantee you'll be more supportive and softer and encourage them and motivate them, as opposed to shun them as a failure. They don't do something, don't do it right immediately, and you go, oh, you're useless, you'll never be able to achieve this. Because the parents that do that, their kids don't develop a healthy habit of development. But I know my audience, and I know most of my audience, they have this soft side of themselves that they show their kids, like, that's okay, that's right, you tried. The intention was what we was actually looking for, the intent to do better. The performance or the outcome's not actually the important part. It's the intent to try something. And you're like, right, okay, try this now, tweak that, try this might be different, see if you can feel that. And what happens? They get a few successful reps and they're like, oh, I think I know what I'm doing now. And then they grow in confidence. And it's like, all right, well, now off you go. And the kid then starts to self-motivate rather than relying on you. And it's funny because adults are exactly the same. Adults are giant kids, big kids. That's all we are. We're grown-up kids. We grew up, but we have the same mental attitude as a kid when we're learning something or find something difficult. We don't want to sit there and find it difficult. And when we do find it difficult, we don't want to be berated, told off, shouted at, or made to feel like shit. But what we want to do is feel supported, empowered, motivated. Because if you're having a tough week and me as your coach goes being like, okay, so I understand it's been really tough this week, but have a look at this. This is a positive from your week. If you can do more of that when you have tougher weeks, you'll make better progress in the long term as opposed to giving up. And you're like, oh, actually, right enough, fair enough. I didn't see that. And then you're like, you now feel empowered because you've done something out of your own idea to make something better. So it could be like, let's use an example. So you might have missed a gym session because the kids are off school today. So while the kids may be lying in bed for a wee bit, you might be like, you know what, I'm just going to flick a 20-minute workout off YouTube. Do it at home, just bodyweight workout. And it's not perfect. It's not going to make you build muscle massively or anything like that, but it's going to keep you active. It's going to burn some calories. It's going to help you mentally. It's going to help you feel good and stay motivated because you stayed on plan. And I can be like, right, well, that is exactly what I want you to do more of when shit hits the fan. Because if you can do that, you can maintain progress. You can keep pushing the boat forward. And you feel empowered, which motivates you more. And when you feel motivated, you take more action. When you take more action, you become more motivated. And it keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. So all I ever ask anyone at all, if they're ever struggling, if they want to get in shape, even if they don't have a lot of time, can you commit to not being perfect? Can you do imperfect action? Action that still takes a small step forward. It's still a step forward. It's the whole idea of, I take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's still 1 step forward. And with my support, that makes it easier because you have that support like a parent would to a child. It keeps you going when you'll find it more difficult, and you'll have weeks where it's more difficult. So yes, Slimming World might not have worked. Weight Watchers might have not worked. But the one thing I will do with you is, well, why did it not work? And then we'll make an action plan to correct that. It was too restrictive. Okay, well, how about we include some of these things you enjoy? Then we go about your exercise. Oh, I couldn't keep up that many sessions, right? How many sessions can you keep up with? And we slowly build the plan, build the motivation, build everything we need. Because that's what you need as an adult. You need support to get you the best results. So when you're struggling next, all I want you to do is just reach out for that bit of support. It's why it's so important to have a coach. So if you are thinking about taking action finally, and you're like, why now? Well, the reason now is because you know you don't need to be perfect. I don't expect that from you. So if you want some support and help, free support and help, 10 to 15 minutes of my time to show you we can get the ball rolling, just DM me the word on Instagram. So KD Weight Loss Coach on Instagram. DM me the word perfect, and I'll send you out a wee message, and we'll get booked on for a 10 to 15 minute call to solve one big struggle you have right now, free of charge. I'm going to be recording a few more of these soon. and hopefully it'll help you out a little bit more. But for now, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Trying to keep this short and sweet. I'll speak to you soon.